So look, if you want to grow your wealth, your income, and increase the amount of time off, then these are the shortcuts that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast. And welcome everybody, it's Dan. I hope you're well today. Let me just move my camera into position. So I just wanted to talk about this. This is not something we normally do, but I figured why not? We should probably cover some of this. So obviously we've got quite a lot of clients, and over the last 30 days, we get an insight into what's going on in the world of social media from a digital marketing point of view, from a content creation point of view, from a business growth point of view. We actually get some really good insights because our clients are across all sorts of different sectors. I mean, we've got sheep shearers, we've got landlord defence, we've got people who look after irritable bowel syndrome, we've got people who are very much into property. I can't remember. We've got loads of clients. We've got mortgage advisors. We've got all sorts of different types of clients. And there's usually a couple of things that come through that I'm like, oh, I need to talk about that because I think it will help other people as well. So that's really what this is about. The last 30 days, digital marketing learnings. And I think you'll find this beneficial as well. So the first one then is, so let me just pull up my little spreadsheet. So at the end of each month, our clients get a list of all the things that we've done for them and like a list of really good results, things that have happened, things that are noteworthy, things that should be pointed out effectively. And so, for the last 3 or 4 clients, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go through some of these. I'm just going to share some of these because I think other people will find this information really, really useful as well. So that's really what I wanted to do here. So first up then is that short videos have the biggest reach. So, for example, you can take a video. So we interview clients and then we take that 45-minute video and then we'll chop that up into short videos. And then we publish those out on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram and all of that kind of thing, and TikTok as well. And then what we find is that the amount of views that those videos get is significant. And it's because people's attention span has really dropped. You might do an hour long. No one's really watching it. It's not that many. Unless you're Grant Cardone or Gary Vee, no one's watching it, right? So like this, for example, we might go live for maybe 10 or 15 minutes today. There's not that many people watching it. But what people do watch are the short videos that we get from this long form content. So because short videos have such a large reach, what it means is that you should be creating long form content and then pulling out the shorts from that long form content. It's a much more natural way of doing it. And also, speaking of being natural on camera, it's very difficult talking face to camera like this. I've done 1,000 of these, so I kind of know what I'm doing and I can just talk bollocks for quite a long time. I just asked my wife, right? Asked my friends just how long I can talk utter crap for. It's quite a long time. But out of that utter crap, you can pull out little shorts and then you can post those out on social media. And that's really where you should be doing it. But to get that natural feel, we actually introduce the interview technique. So we interview our clients, we film it, and then we pull out the shorts from that. And I think that's really important. And one of the key things I've noticed is that across the board on all our clients, when we're doing these end of month results, shorts, video shorts, on LinkedIn and Twitter and so on, they're the ones that have got the biggest reach. They're the ones that are getting watched the most. But also, on a relatively new account, we've had this client a couple of months now, 8,000 TikTok views, 4,600 YouTube views. That's not bad. It's in I think that one was in a property marketplace. And so property is really difficult because it's not, you know, it's not Star Wars or it's not sci-fi or it's not fitness girls in bikinis. You know, it's really difficult to get that kind of number unless you're Grant Cardone and Gary Vee, and I don't think they're on Star Wars in bikinis. But it's very difficult in business to get those sort of views, and you have to be incredibly consistent with your ability to put content out. And if you're not consistent enough, getting those TikTok views, getting those YouTube views, and that's not even taking into account Twitter and Instagram and what else? Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, for example, and Facebook, of course, Facebook. They've got Facebook stories and so on. And so you've got to be really consistent. You know, I was having a chat with Graham. Graham's my number 2, and he's in charge of delivery for all our clients. I'm number 1. I'm in charge of bringing clients on. And being the face of a business effectively, but he's the guy that looks after the delivery. And we were talking about video, and we used to use a bit of software and have used this bit of software for about 3 years now. And actually the software is coming to the end of its useful life because it's gone full circle. It's no longer useful for the type of content that you should be putting out as a business. This type of software we were using, it's kind of out of date now, and it was useful for a while, but we don't need it anymore, effectively. And you have to adapt as social media adapts. Before, it was pictures of cats, pictures of this, pictures of that. Now it's video, and I've even seen this, a picture on Instagram, and then in the background, so you've got like a square around it, like a frame, and in the background is like the ocean, and you can see it moving, and they put music on it, and it is a picture with a little bit of movement around the edges, because I've just put the picture over the top of it and recorded it as a video, and then some music over the top of it. So this transition. So for example, I could probably show you exactly what I mean here. Let me take you to one of my pages and one of my videos. Because we could probably show you a really good example of this. Let me do one. I saw one earlier today that we'd actually done. In fact, yeah, this one would do it. Let me just share screen here. And yeah, can I share that screen? I can. So let me just share this screen. Share second screen. Transition that over. There you go. So what you should be able to see there is my screen. And this digital marketing online course creation, this bit right here. Yeah, that's fine. So this bit right here, you see how it's got a white background? We could put space, like outer space into that as a moving image. And we could put, a bit of music. You could even have me talking over it, right? It's an image, but it's actually a video with me talking over it. And actually, you're going to get better results from that than you are from an image. You could put the ocean in the background. You could put cars passing by in the background. You could put, let's go to Pexels, which is a website you can use for video. So let's put cars. Let's put UK cars. And let's do it as a video. So like, for example, this will do. So this one, you could have that as a background and then the image overlaid on top. So you get to see some of the background still. So it's got movement. And then you can record that with a voiceover and a little bit of music. And that is really simple to do. It's a bit time consuming. But what we found is that people are transitioning from images to video. And actually, you know what? Now I've actually said it. It's like, you know what? Maybe I should actually be doing some of that. Should be doing more of that. Just voiceovers with a still, but do it as a video with a little bit of movement and a voiceover. I think that'd be really interesting. And, you know, one of the things I like to do is experiment with digital marketing, and to see what works and see what doesn't work. And then when we know what does work, we can then pass it on to our clients and explain what we're doing to everybody else as well. But on a brand new account, we've got 8,000 TikTok views, 4,600 YouTube views. That's pretty good, to be fair. The interviews, let's talk about those. If you click the link down below, it'll take you to the package that we have. It's 375, and we actually do one interview a month. Those are going great. Like, we should have done that 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But the systemization of making that happen just wasn't in place. And we've had to grow as a business in order to put that in place. But that right now, I think, is something that's going to be very successful for our clients, and it already is, because, you know, we've seen the video views absolutely ramp up, but also we've seen website visitors, which I've not had space on here to put in, but we've seen website visitors increase as well. And it's not enough just to put content out. Nobody wants content for the sake of putting content out. The whole point is it's supposed to drive traffic back to the website, back to an offer, back to a landing page, to get the person who's watching it to actually do something. That's the whole point. That's why we do these, as well as creating short videos out of it. But also the link down below, we want you to click on that, and we want you to go and have a look, and we want to get into a conversation with you. And we have to do that often enough so that people go, do you know what? Okay, I'm going to have that conversation. Finally, we've done. I need to get around it. I need to sort out my social media. I need to get in front of more clients, and I need to close more sales. That's what I need to do. Dan can help. But what we find is that doing interviews for our clients, we have a specific interviewer that does this, who's very, very good, by the way, it's so much more easier to get content from clients. If we ask a client to go out and film 4 1-minute short videos, oh my God, it's just never going to happen, right? It takes them 6 months to build up, to get around to doing it. It just never happens. If we schedule them in for a 45-minute interview, they all just got to turn up and talk about the thing they love the most, right? Which is their little baby, their business. Boy, they're on it like a whippet, and it works really, really well. And so this is what you should be doing in your business. And if you've got no one to interview, you should be coming over to us, that our professional interview you, get to talk about your business. And then not only that, you get a whole bunch of content that you can then schedule. But we schedule it for you across all the social media. You don't have to do anything. You just got to show up. But that's working incredibly well. And then just finally here is that the social media figures are actually up across the board. So Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, it's all up. More content is being consumed today than at any other point in history, except first month or two of the pandemic, I would argue. But also what we find is that it's not just the social media numbers, the number of views, the amount of engagement, the amount of likes and shares. That's probably dropped, actually. The number of views is up, but the number of shares, people aren't sharing as much content these days. They might watch it, they might consume it, but they're not sharing it because they're on to the next piece of content and the next piece of content and so on, right? It's kind of down a little bit. But what we find is that across the board, social media figures are up. And in turn, and again, this is the important bit, that website traffic is also up. Now, people are actually buying less because we're in a bit of a recession, whether the numbers say it or not. The UK is pretty in a spot of bother right now, shall we say? It's a nice way of saying it. I almost swore. It's in the shit, isn't it? Let's face it. No one's spending anything. But social media views are up, website views are up, and in turn, that will eventually translate itself into more sales. But it can only translate into more sales if you're actually creating the content in the first place and creating some noise and getting in front of people. It will only do that if you're creating the content. And if you're not creating the content, then it's not going to happen. Anyway, I hope you find that useful. It's just something I wanted to share from all the numbers and the figures that I was looking at for all our clients. Just something I found really, really interesting and useful, and I thought that you would as well. All right, I hope you find it useful. We'll catch up with you on the next one. Have a wicked day. Take care. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.